Hello, hello. Today we are doing an essay writing review. This is perhaps one of the most important things that you learn in my class is how to write an essay for the FSA. Okay, so we're going to review. After we go through this review and you guys are feeling confident, then you guys are going to revise your essays. So remember that is 100 points. I know some of you scored very low. So this is your chance to make improvements and bring up your grade right before report cards, okay? If you need any clarification on anything that I go over in here, please just contact me, whether it's in our meetings or via email. If anything does not make sense to you, please let me know so I can help you understand, because this is so important. Okay, so first we're going to talk about the body paragraphs of your essays. So just a quick review that's not listed here. An FSA style essay is usually 5 paragraphs. It will have one introduction in the beginning, then you will have 3 separate body paragraphs, and then you will have one conclusion paragraph. So this is talking about your body paragraphs, which are in the middle. So paragraph number 2, 3, and 4. So a body paragraph must have at least the following 4 sentences: your topic sentence, your evidence, which comes from the sources that we give you. So no FSA essay should use outside sources. Nothing should be from Google. It should only be from the sources that we give you. So it will have your topic sentence, your evidence, your analysis, and then a bigger picture statement. So let's first talk about your topic sentence. The topic sentence is the one that tells your reader what the topic of your paragraph is. So in an essay, this will be one of the reasons from your thesis statement. Remember, you should have already done a thesis statement review on how to write them and how to analyze them. So it will be one of the 3 reasons that you write in your thesis statement. Everything in your paragraph must relate back to your topic sentence. If it does not relate to the topic, then it is a tangent and you should get rid of it. The next thing you need to provide is evidence. Evidence must come from one of the provided sources. Again, when you take an FSA exam, you are not going to have access to outside sources. It must come from one of the provided sources in the prompt. You must also cite your evidence correctly. Text evidence is used to have the words of someone else supporting your topic sentence and your ideas. So you're using evidence from the provided sources to support your topic sentence and to support your ideas to make them stronger. Then analysis. So after you have your evidence, you need to analyze your evidence. So the analysis sentence is one that you use to explain how the text evidence supports your topic sentence. Please do not just repeat exactly what the evidence said. Use this as a chance to expand upon what the author of your evidence said. Use your own words for the analysis and explain why this evidence is important. Then finally, you're going to write a sentence about the bigger picture. So the last sentence is when you tie everything together. Talk about why the topic is important. Why should people be concerned about the topic? Remember, if it is not related to the paragraph's topic sentence, which is your first sentence of that body paragraph, cut it out of the paragraph because it is off topic and it does not belong. So here's an example of a well-written body paragraph following the things we just talked about. So this does not have a transition word because this is just one paragraph. It is not meant as a body paragraph. So it just says Avatar, The Last Airbender is the greatest TV show ever made. So there's a topic sentence. According to Vox, it is not only is it, quote, hilarious, inventive, and a constant delight, but it is also a total tearjerker. Most shows on TV cannot be both funny, whimsical, and dramatic, but Avatar manages to do it all, sometimes in the same episode. So the according to Vox sentence, that is your evidence where you're using someone else's words to support that first sentence, which is your topic sentence. then most TV shows on TV cannot be funny, whimsical, and dramatic, but Avatar manages to do it all. Those are your own words. Again, relating back to the topic sentence that Avatar: The Last Airbender is the greatest TV show ever made. Then we get to the fourth sentence, and that is the ability to have all these different elements in the show also allowed it to teach some incredibly important lessons about compassion and being a good person. So that's the big deal. That's why the information in this paragraph is important. Now I want to talk a little bit about organization. So you'll see here where it says introduction, hotel info. I'm going to give you a planning sheet that you guys can reference. Well, once you have these sentences filled in, you have your whole essay, okay? So you can use that as planning. For this essay, I'm not going to collect it as a grade. Possibly for the second essay, I will. Just a heads up, we have 3 total essays in this class, but that is it, just 3 essays for the class. So first, I want to talk about a few things in your introduction. In your introduction, you should not be using quotes or evidence or information that you need to cite. Save that evidence for the body paragraphs. Think about common knowledge and general information related to this topic. That does not mean you should take information from your sources and put it in there and not cite it. It means anything that is not an idea of your own or general knowledge should not be in your introduction. If you like using questions in your writing, a hook is a good place to include this. Try to think of something really interesting about the subject to grab attention. I know a lot of people struggle with a hook. If you're really struggling, get to writing everything else. And if you need to go back to the hook, go back to the hook. Don't just sit there and stare because you cannot think of a hook. Try to get through everything else and maybe one will come to you. In your essay in general, but especially I see it in introductions, please make sure do not use the word I. You should not use statements like I think or I know. It weakens your argument, okay? You don't need to have the word I in there. And then again, remember for your thesis statement that it is the last sentence of your introduction. And remember to follow the formula. You're going to state your claim, then write the word because, and then reason 1, 2, and 3. Moving on to body paragraph number 1. So remember, all paragraphs aside from your introduction will start with a transition word. For your first body paragraph, you want to make sure your transition words make sense. So since it's your first body paragraph, you can begin with a transition word like first, begin, first of all, generally, etc. Your topic sentence is the first reason you listed in your thesis statement. So here's an example. If your thesis statement is, students should be required to wear uniforms to maintain uniformity across or among students, alleviate the worry of finding clothes for students, and to easily identify students as belonging to a particular school. So that gave us 3 reasons. The first reason was to maintain uniformity among students. So when you add your topic sentence, which is your first reason, to a transition word, the first sentence in your body paragraph number 1 would be, first, students should be required to wear uniforms to maintain uniformity among students. Okay, and that is how your thesis can get 25% of your paper done, because it writes each topic sentence and it gives you a sentence in each of your paragraphs, okay? When using text evidence, do not forget to cite it. Even if it is not an exact quote and you are changing words around, which is called paraphrasing, you must cite where you got this information from. If it is not information that was already in your brain, you must cite it. That is how a lot of people are getting flagged for plagiarism, okay? So here's an example of citing. You can cite it in many different ways. The FSA is not super picky about how you cite. So this isn't like a research paper where you need to follow APA or MLA formatting, if anyone knows what that is. You just need to reference where your source came from. So, example, in implementing the Electoral College, most states' votes either go to one candidate or the other, leading to candidates only leading to candidates to only campaign in swing states. Then parentheses, Bradford Plummer. So that is the author's 13, okay? And that is the paragraph. So again, remember when you got your prompt, you got 5 sources. You don't need to write out anything super long and elaborate. The person just needs to be able to tell which source it came from. So that could be by writing the title of the article. It could be by writing the author. It could be by just saying in the third source or in the third article. So again, here's a different way to cite evidence for FSA writing. As stated in the third article, paragraph 19, quote, because a candidate with only regional appeal is unlikely to be a successful president. So that one was not paraphrasing. That was a direct quote. In both instances, you need to tell us where you got that information from. This is very, very important. Moving on to body paragraph number 2. So again, all paragraphs aside from your introduction will start with a transition word. You want to use first as a transition word for your second body paragraph? No. So possible transitions for your second paragraph could be next, additionally, similarly, also, etc. Your topic sentence is your second reason from your thesis statement. So again, if your thesis statement is students should be required to wear uniforms to maintain uniformity among students, alleviate the worry of finding clothes for students, and to easily identify students as belonging to a particular school. The second reason listed there in your thesis is alleviate the worry of finding clothes for students. Now, it's not going to make sense if you just write next, alleviate the worry of finding clothes for students. So you want to have your claim and then your second reason. So your topic sentence, which is your first sentence, in body paragraph number 2 would be, next, students should be required to wear uniforms to alleviate the worry of finding clothes for students. So again, remember, for all of your writing, if information was not prior knowledge, you need to cite it, where it came from, and remember you are whether or not you are quoting or paraphrasing, which is rewording the sources. An essay should always have more elaboration, which are your own words, than text evidence. But a good essay will always have both. So again, look at this little box on the top. You're going to have your topic sentence for paragraph 2, or body paragraph 2, which will technically be your third paragraph. Then your common knowledge, so something you know about this reason that did not come from your sources. Then your text evidence, so what did your evidence say? And what source did it come from? And then your elaboration. So what else can you say about this evidence that supports reason? You should never have text evidence without elaboration. You need to add your own words to it, okay? Body paragraph number 3. So hopefully we're getting the hang of this now. Same general idea for body paragraph 1 and 2. So remember, all paragraphs aside from your introduction will have a transition word. Similar transition examples as your second one. You can use next, additionally, similarly, also, etc. So again, your topic sentence is reason number 3 from your thesis statement. So if we're using the same paragraph, students should be required to wear uniforms to maintain uniformity among students, alleviate the worry of finding clothes for students, and to easily identify students as belonging to a particular school. Again, we need to restate our claim, and we need to have a transition word. So your topic sentence for body paragraph number 3, there's a typo there, would be, additionally, students should be required to wear uniforms to easily identify students as belonging to a particular school. And there's your third topic sentence. So again, looking at the box, you'll have that topic sentence, your common knowledge on that subject, the text evidence that supports that subject, and where it came from, and then your elaboration, so your own words that support it. Again, everything in this paragraph needs to relate back to the topic sentence. And finally, the conclusion. So your conclusion should summarize the key information in your essay. You should not introduce any new information in your conclusion. It is there to summarize what you have already said. If you find something you want to say that you have not already said, put it somewhere else in your essay. Okay, the conclusion is like a recap. It's restating things that you have already said. So the first sentence in your conclusion will be your thesis statement again. You can even just copy and paste it. It's the same thesis statement. Again, this should have a transition, so you can write in conclusion and then your thesis statement, okay? In your introduction and in your conclusion, you should not be using quotes or information that you need to cite. Restate your best point and leave your reader with something interesting to think about. Save your evidence for the body paragraph. Think about common knowledge and general information related to this topic. And again, do not use the word I. I see those the most in introductions and conclusions. Do not make statements like I think or I know or now I have shown you, okay? It weakens your arguments. So again, you will have for your conclusion, don't forget a transition. Then you'll have your thesis restated. Then you want to reiterate or restate your best points. So what is the best point you made in your essay that should be repeated? And then at the end, you want to have your mic drop. What is something you want the reader to continue thinking about? If you follow these, you will do excellent on the FSA. You will do well in this class because, like I said, we got to revise your first essay and you will have 2 more essays for this entire class. I promise those are not my rules. That is every English 1 class, okay? They may even have more essays. So we are required in English 1 to have 3. So again, if any of this did not make sense, this is so important for you to know. Please ask for clarification, okay? Please ask me. Thank you, guys.